Hello, and welcome to Red Lexus, the Lexus channel for you. Today I'm going to be talking about the McLaren 750S Spider and a little bit of a fun comparison with my Lexus LC 500H. Now, I'm going to give you a walk around of the McLaren. You've seen the Lexus before, so I'm not going to give you too much on that. It's just going to be a fun kind of comparison to see what they both like, since I had access to this 2024 750S. So hopefully you all enjoy this video. So I'm going to give you a walk around of this fantastic McLaren 750S. Now the one behind me today is spec'd of just over £267,000. Now this sits just above the Artura, so it is a V8 powered non-hybridised rear-wheel drive supercar, 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds. So come with me to have a quick look at the vehicle. Now the front end of this is kind of like a heavy facelift of the 720S. So what that means is we've got the really slim headlights inside here with the kind of hovering indicator. This is, you're able to put your hand in because it is a vent behind there, and that air goes right through up the door into the rear engine. We do have these little vents again up front where the front boot is. It is pretty big, and I've put some overlays of that when we're looking inside. As you can see, we've got the famous McLaren doors today going up, which is just an iconic McLaren touch. And if you're not sure what McLaren you're looking at, you can look at the side. It does say 750S on the side here. Now we do have these Pirelli rimmed alloy wheels in the two-tone, the kind of rotating design. And we've got a red brake caliper. They are 19-inch wheels, which is not too bad a size, I guess, for a supercar. And it's not one of these 2024 24-inch wheels. Now you may be aware that McLaren uses their carbon tubs as a basis for most of their performance range, and this car is no different, so you're able to see the exposed carbon up here. Now one of the cool features on this 750S is the fact that it's got the tonneau cover, and you're able to raise and lower it. When you lift up the door, there's two switches here, and that means you can raise and put some storage in there if the roof is up. So one interesting kind of design element, I guess, is with the air vents going through the door. When you lift the doors up, sometimes you get some stones shoving down the bottom. Interesting thing, but we do have this little radiator here that is nice and warm and toasted to touch. And then we've got the little reflector on the back bumper. Now, one of the differences again with the 750 over the 720 is this spoiler is around 30% larger than what you've seen on the outgoing 720S. Now, also if you're behind one of these, the taillight design is similar, but what you're going to notice is we've got a central exhaust instead of two exhausts like you've seen in the 720. Out with that, there's not too much else to talk about back here. It's very McLaren. A lot of it is exposed. So what's quite interesting is during the experience with the McLaren, we do have little stones that are gathering down below in here, so they must be getting kicked up and they're gathering at the bottom down here. So that is a little bit, you're going to have to get your hoover out and clean that out. But this car does have parking sensors and cameras all round, so we're going to give it the caveat there for technology. And all this, as you can see, is kind of like a hollowed out material, so it is lightweight and exposed, a little bit like the Volkswagen VX220. So you join me inside the cabin of the 750S. Now you're going to see this little plaque just to remind you the car's made in Surrey, England, down here. On the right hand side of the steering wheel we do have your front release, we've got your door lock, and then we've got a little nose lifter there which takes, I believe, 4 seconds to lift the car up if you're going over a speed bump. It does go down again if you're going over 50 miles per hour, so make sure you're keeping your speed down. We do have your things like your lights down here for your fog lights. You may notice on the steering wheel of the McLaren we do not have any buttons. So McLaren have purposely designed this vehicle to be kind of driver focused, and there's a lack of buttons on the steering wheel. Unlike maybe some other brands that have all the buttons on the steering wheel, McLaren are giving you some buttons in the centre here. Now what is interesting is you've got a drive, neutral and reverse, but there's no individual parking button to descend. So what you do is you push it into neutral and then you engage the parking brake, and that's how the car will be stopped and then park. It does also have automatic start stop defeat down the middle there, so in a car like this you might just not want the car turning on and off. And you put the foot in the brake and push the start button to start the car up. That V8 is going to rumble into life. Now we do have a new infotainment screen here versus the outgoing 720S. It's pretty fast and responsive, so you just get things like your phone, your sat nav, etc. We do have an arrow button here, this avocado button that can be used as a favourites and a launch control, which I'm not going to use on the track. Okay, sorry, we're going to keep that for the track. I'm not using that on the roads today. Now we do have just indicators on the left, there's some kind of McLaren logo Now, there is no glove box in the car, so it's not passed through the Car to Glasgow test for glove box, and we do have McLaren P1 seats in this vehicle. So they're very figure-hugging bucket seats, and they have got some of this red and Alcantara throughout. And this particular car is equipped with the red seat belts. So in the centre armrest here, we do have a little bit of storage, which is the ideal size for your corner. Now, there is a USB-A and USB charging port in there, and behind the seats there's not really any storage, so there's a little bit of netting so you can store your mini McLaren. This 750S is also fitted with an electrochromic roof, which means at a touch of a button the sunroof or roof above you can go from transparent to a little bit opaque quite quickly, and the roof also folds down in 11 seconds. It's a really fast hardtop convertible. Now, being a McLaren, we do have a front boot or frunk, and this has 150 litres of boot space. And unlike any Lexus product, there is no frunk or fruit in a current Lexus at the moment. By comparison, the Lexus LC 500H has 172 litres of boot space. Now, the 750S has a claimed 2.7 seconds to 60. However, I've seen online that some outlets have managed to achieve 2.3 seconds. By comparison, the 500H achieves 60 mph in 4.7 seconds. So inside the interior of the Lexus LC 500H, we do have seating for 4 in a 2+2 configuration, plenty of nooks and crannies for storage, 2 decent size storage areas for cans of juice, bottles of water, whatever it may be. And the interior of the car, I'd probably say is a little bit better feeling than the McLaren, considering the McLaren's over £300,000 and the Lexus New is about £112,000. The fit and finish, both use Alcantara and bits of leather, but the Lexus has got more of a premium luxurious feel. The McLaren's obviously more like a stripped out race car for the road. You do feel more of the engine vibration through the seat and then into the cabin, unlike the Lexus as well. And talking about design of the car, it's going to be up to yourself what you think. I think both are striking. Probably neither of them are classically beautiful, but you know, the LC has definitely got a striking design on the road with a long nose, and the McLaren, although they all tend to start looking the same from the MP4-12C right through to the 570S, the 675, up to the 750, they all kind of look similar iterations over the last 12 years. There's no doubt a McLaren gets a lot of road presence, and when you're out on the road, you definitely get people running and screaming, shouting McLaren. You have kids come and take photographs, and yeah, it's a bit of an ordeal and a little bit of excitement when the McLaren's trundling down the road. Now, out on the road, I would definitely say the LC's the better car for daily driving. It just seems to handle the road better for the lumps and bumps, the potholes of everyday life, stop-start traffic. You get let out at junctions, you've not got people pulling out in front of you in like Volkswagen Taigos or T-Crosses, like I experienced in the McLaren. And yeah, you don't have to worry about scraping the nose. It does have the nose lift in the McLaren, but the LC is just a little bit higher for everyday life. And again, I know I'm comparing a supercar to a GT car before we see this in the comments, but I just thought I would make a mention since I have both cars here today. And it's a little bit of fun comparing two kind of high-end white kind of sporty cars with two doors really. But that's going to be about it. If it's a McLaren or Tourer, I would say it's going to be an interesting one because they're both V6 hybrids. I don't have the LC500 V8 at hand to compare that, but you have seen that previously on this channel. So thank you so much for watching this video on McLaren 750S. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and I'll see you next video.